you've been feeling foggy, anxious, or overwhelmed, this is the real reason. And if you stick with me to the very end, I'm going to show you exactly how you can fix it. The first thing is your nervous system. A lot of men, I think, are familiar with this, and if you're not, you obviously got the fight or flight response. Now, for a lot of men out there that are hustling, or even just young men that are going out chasing their dreams, we're always stuck in this fight or flight mode, and it's what we're battling on a day-to-day basis. The reason being is we're just too overstimulated with all of the distractions around us. So when we're scrolling on TikTok, when we're scrolling on Instagram, we're starting to go into this mode of comparison, which starts to activate our fight or flight. And then we're just constantly just operating, just chasing things and never really feeling a sense of fulfillment. So the first step is just actually being problem aware and understanding that your nervous system is the whole thing that's absolutely screwed up now, and it's because you're letting all this external things control your internal being. So how to really overcome that is just start protecting yourself, basically scheduling bedtime, making sure you go to sleep on time, not scrolling late in bed. It's going to mess up your sleep. When you have a bad sleep, you're going to wake up straight away with high cortisol, in fight or flight, and that's just going to carry into a very vicious cycle where you may not even think that you're actually in that, but you are, and that's the scariest part. So yeah, if you haven't had a sense of calm or like peace or anything like that recently, then there's a good chance that your nervous system is absolutely cooked. Now, also overstimulation is another big one as well. We don't find the time to be silent anymore. We're always stimulated by something, and don't get me wrong, I've been guilty of it, and I'm still guilty of it sometimes here and there as well. So whether that's just filling in empty spaces when it comes to scrolling Instagram, TikTok, watching YouTube videos, even watching podcasts and inspirational things, sometimes we think that these things are great, but they're actually doing us more harm than good. We're not giving ourselves the mental capacity to actually sit with ourselves and rest our well-being. Now, when you're constantly caught in this trap of being overstimulated, you just become mentally fried, and I've been there many times. I was there a few days ago. I just traveled from Barcelona to Bali, and I had so much work to catch up on, and now I'm actually kind of in a bit of a resting phase at the moment and doing a little less work, because I just noticed it's just I'm not feeling as human as I usually do. So that's another thing. If you're not feeling like yourself, it's really easy to come back to yourself. You just actually need to take care of yourself sometimes. And the whole grind culture, it's a bunch of BS. Don't get me wrong, work hard, but when you rest more, it will give you the energy to propel forward way, way quicker to those goals of yours. Yeah, so obviously all that stuff leads to anxiety and brain fog as well. So a lot of people might say that they get anxious, socially anxious. Me included myself, I used to always think that I was socially anxious, and I still think I was socially anxious in a lot of ways, but really at the root of that is the nervous system and being overstimulated. So that's kind of what creeps into that anxiety and the brain fog, and you don't really know why you've got it and what's going on and why you feel this tension. And you don't feel at ease. You just kind of never really have this sense of peace, and it's that peace, you can't put a price tag to your peace. So that's when you start to feel all the brain fog and the anxiety. Go back a few steps. Understand the problem here, that it's your nervous system and you're being overstimulated. Okay. Now, the best way to reset, if I were you, is sit in silence. And for the first time, it might really scare the shit out of you. I remember when I first tried my first 10-minute mindfulness meditation with my eyes closed. I think I opened my eyes probably 30 times, and it made me realize how wired I was. When you can just sit in silence with yourself and realize who you truly are, and not to get too spiritually woohoo on you type of thing, but you literally are the observer. You're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts. All of these things are happening, however you want to look at it. They're either happening for you or they're happening to you. But the best part and the most freeing part that I came across in meditation is understanding that I'm none of them, and it's constantly changing. It doesn't mean that you will just eliminate bad thoughts or bad feelings and they're never going to come back. No, that's absolutely a bunch of BS. They will come back, and they'll come back on a daily basis. But you'll understand not how to be attached to them and not how to react to them. And that's going to allow you to have a way more stronger sense of control, which is going to carry through better relationships. You're going to feel way better on a day-to-day basis. So there's many things that we could get into for resetting. However, resetting is basically actually focusing on putting rest first and spending some time in silence, and maybe just doing something that you really enjoy. For me, I love surfing, I love boxing. If I've got time for that, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try and do those things on a day-to-day basis because it just naturally puts me in a healthy and a good state. So that's one challenge for you. Try sit in silence for 10 minutes. You'll realize how crazy your monkey mind is. It's another good thing is fasting. So every 3 months I do a 4-day fast. I just came off one 3 days ago as well when I came back from Barcelona. When you do you don't have to do a 4-day fast. You could honestly do a 2-day fast, or you could even just do intermittent fasting to begin with. So like maybe as a stepping stone, you could start off with just eating at 10 a.m. and finishing at 6 p.m. or whatever your window is. You'll notice that without having so much food in your body and feeling so heavy, you'll just feel way more sharper. And when you do a 2-day fast, you will get crazy mental clarity. On a 4-day fast, that's unreal. It's like I've woken up and I'm just so full of energy and I'm just so alert, and it's crazy. You break through some really old mental patterns, and it's honestly one of the biggest reasons I do it, just to reset my mind. Yes, you can lose a bit of fat and all that, it's great, but resetting your whole nervous system is like the best thing ever. It's really, really good. And then also training. I mean, training is a bit of a non-negotiable, right? I think everyone these days knows that you should do a bit of physical, work out physically, lift heavy weights. I mean, but if you're not problem aware of that, then, training is one of the easiest ways to just feel good. So I used to schedule training at the end of my day, every day. But I've changed that over the last few years, and I do it in the morning, every single morning. So I block out all meetings, like nothing gets in the way of my morning training anymore. The reason being is because when you do something difficult first thing in the morning, and especially when it comes to like lifting heavy weights and stuff like that, it releases so much natural dopamine and you feel so good at the start of your day. It really builds that momentum. When you wake up in the morning, it's your first battle of the day, is getting up and getting out of bed. And if you can overcome that and get to the gym and just really overcome yourself in that first 1 to 2 hours of the day, it just gives you so much momentum for the rest of the day. So really try that. It's also journaling is another really good one as well. Something that I probably should do more of. I'm not doing a lot of it right now, but I've been in lots and lots of phases. I've got about 30 journal books in a bag that I can see right now that's of just writing every single day, just my thoughts. And what really happens is we've got so much stuff going on internally, and when you sit with yourself, I recommend doing it first thing in the morning, getting your 10 minutes of sunlight while you do it, because that resets your whole system as well. I've tried so many different methods of journaling. Don't have that whole bunch of BS that you need to write down like 3 things that you're grateful for, or whatever that whole method is. Just simply write what you're thinking. Get all that shit out, whether it's negative or positive. The only one method that I would recommend is writing as your future self as it's real now. When you journal first thing in the morning, it just allows you to get it all from in here and allows you to put it all out there. And it just really clears you spiritually. I mean, speaking on it, I really need to get back into it. It's actually really, really beneficial. So if you're not doing it, give it a try. Really good. Also, I mean, on that topic, spirituality. What do you believe in? I mean, for a long time, I was an atheist, and if you are an atheist, so be it, that's your choice. But it's crazy, it's super lonely. Like, you think that you're all doing it for yourself, and it can be very ego-orientated, where you're just trying to accomplish things for yourself. And yeah, so I've for the last quite a few years, have found my faith. First of all, I was believing in the universe, higher power, all that type of thing. If you believe in that stuff, that's still really, really good. But now I obviously believe in God, the creator of all things. That's just my personal opinion. But the reality here is you need to believe in something, okay? You need to believe in something that's greater than yourself, because it is the truth. There is something that's much greater out here that can do much more than we can do on our own. And if we truly align with whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, when we align with that, it's going to take ourselves way further than we can actually, do on our own. So reconnecting with your spirituality is a really powerful thing to do for your overall well-being. So don't skip that as well. But also, your health as a whole, right? Like, all these things cover up your health. And probably one of the main things that we've missed out on so far is your diet. Keeping it really clean, just eating 3 times a day, carbs, fats, and obviously protein, and keeping it balanced, morning, lunch, and dinner, and not overly eating. When you stay in a slight calorie deficit every day, that's when you're going to feel your absolute best. I've gone down the whole path of trying to eat so many calories to put on size, to get jacked. I don't really know, there's got to be, maybe someone is very passionate about that, or maybe they just have a huge ego. I'm really not sure, but I've really worked hard. Don't get me wrong, I really want to look good as well. I really want to have a great physique, but going down that whole massive getting jacked type of phase, you feel like absolute shit. I don't know how people do it to themselves. I don't know how people eat that much food just to feel mobile. You just don't feel clean or, energetic. If they do, then good for them. But for me, it just definitely didn't work out for me. I'll tell you that now. So I guess coming to it with all these things we've covered, what's the next obvious thing? Having good discipline around doing these things. So discipline just means doing the things that you don't like, but you know that you should do them, and actually doing them. So for instance, with gym now, that's actually become a habit. A habit's actually, different to a discipline. Gym started off as a discipline for me. I hated it. I was overweight. I hated being in the gym. I felt insecure. Then within a year or two of doing it, I felt great. I thought, this is no way I could ever, stop doing this ever in my life. And now it's just become a habit. I really enjoy it. I love the gym. Absolutely love it. So it's no longer a discipline anymore. Same with meditation. I know how good that makes me feel every single day. It started off as a discipline, but now it's easy to do every day. It's a habit. That's all it is, because I just can't miss it. I know how good it makes me feel. So discipline's the key thing that you want to start to focus on to really bring these things together. So for example, I said that I didn't really do journaling much recently, so that means I'll have to start focusing on doing that, even though that I just can't be bothered. And discipline's our superpower, because that's why you can win. That's why 90% of people are failing. That's why it's so easy to win and get ahead, because even 90% of people that might be watching this video might not even take action on anything. And that's why it's so easy to win. I would encourage you to just pause this video, write down right now one thing out of all the things that I've said that you're actually going to take action on today. And give yourself a goal just to do it for the next 3 days. Really small goal. Don't try and say you're going to do it for the next 30 or 60 or 90 days. Just try to take action towards one thing that I've said. Just one thing, and just for 3 days. Okay? If you can write that on a piece of paper right now, then you're heading in the right direction. Okay? Once you have formed that discipline around your whole health, then it basically turns into a routine. And routine is so powerful. I travel all the time to all different countries, and my work schedule is always changing with meetings. And the first thing I do when I get to a new place or a new time zone is really just establish my routine and my schedule, and then I just repeat that day after day. And then on the weekend, if I've got a day or two off, then amazing. Gonna spend that with my beautiful girlfriend, or I'm gonna spend that with friends or family. So routine is something that you really want to take the time to design your routine as well. Think clearly about it, because when you design your routine, then it makes it easy to form discipline and then start getting all the rest of these things done, okay? The last thing and the hardest thing, no way in the world I've mastered, is emotional mastery, okay? So basically being in control of your emotions, operating from more of a place of faith and not fear. I actually only just learned this recently. You're really only operating from a place of faith or fear. So when someone's angry, jealous, enviness, or whatever it is, all these negative emotions, they're all tied to the exact same thing, which is fear. It's all a form of fear. Now, to go one step further, it's maybe not who you are. It's actually just a pattern that you've adopted, okay? Maybe it's just a part of one of your personalities. Now, we all like to think we've got one personality, but that's a total bunch of BS. We've all got many personalities, and I'm not saying that we're all, got some mental illness. It's just the way it goes. When you maybe you've heard someone tell you a story about someone else, and they said, oh, he or she was acting like this, and you go, what? That's not like him, that's not like her. And they're just like, what? Like, I see that side all the time. That's just because it's one side of their personality. So it's the same with us, and we just need to fine-tune these parts of our personality and fine-tune them to faith. And it's something that I'm still struggling with. And it's emotional mastery, it's the hardest thing. But if I was to just try and make that like really, really clear for you on how, emotional mastery works, it would be operating from more of a place of faith over fear. That would be the one way that I'll sum it up. And the second thing would be like not reacting to negative things too easily. And that's what 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation will do. Anyway, these are some things that have really helped me in the last 10 years, going from someone that was constantly drinking, partying, absolutely lost, had no direction, no hope, to now have built quite a few businesses, travel around the whole world, have done so for the last 5 or 6 years, live a lavish lifestyle, got a great circle of friends, got an amazing, beautiful girlfriend, and just, all the stuff that I've got now just really seem far out of reach. And all of these things have really helped me. So don't take them lightly. Just do one thing and just try and build bit by bit, and you're really going to start to really have more of a sense of fulfillment and meaning in your life. And if you want to take this even one step further, I'll drop a link below and you can just schedule a call, and also subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, and I'll start bringing out more content like this. And let me know in the comments below what the most favorite part of this video was for you.